What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Charles here, aka the Bearded Guru. So, it's coming about that time of year. That's right, selling on eBay is going to be extremely profitable this year. Why? Because I don't know if you know it or not, but e-commerce is a sector of business that is booming. Because why do you want to get out in traffic? Why do you want to drive to the mall, deal with thousands of people that just piss you off? It doesn't make for a very pleasurable shopping experience. Now, I do understand there's going to be a few of you out there that, I love going to the mall. I love going shopping. Well, more power to you. I personally don't. If I can find it on the internet, I will buy it and have it shipped to me. Why? Because I hate being in massive groups of stupid people. And I'm sorry, but that's right. There are a lot of stupid people out there. There's kids that don't behave, that are screaming and crying, and it just gets my nerves worked up so bad that I will turn around and walk out. But, to each their own, right? But back to what I'm talking about here. So eBay, okay? Now, a lot of people, once you start talking about eBay, what do you think? Going around the garage sales, trying to find cheap stuff that people are selling, and then turn around so that you can resell it for a profit. Which works, it does. But then, guess what you got to do? You got to wrap it, you got to box it up, you got to ship it, pay for the shipping, deal with it. If there's a return, they'll have to return it back to you. And it works. It does work. If that's the route you want to go, then by all means, have at it. What I'm going to show you today is how to sell on eBay without doing, with removing about 80% of the legwork. You don't have to touch inventory. You don't have to ship, which is pretty much most of the effort that it takes to sell on eBay. Alright, so what I'm showing you here is drop shipping. Now, if you've ever heard of drop shipping, basically, in layman's terms, I go around, find stuff to sell that somebody else is already selling on the internet. Say Walmart.com, Kmart.com, Overstock.com, Amazon.com. Anywhere that I can purchase something from a supplier online and they will ship it to the destination that I choose, I will sell their product for a profit, obviously. So, next question is that legal? Of course it's legal. Why do you think eBay, PayPal, and Amazon, these companies grew so popular? Because this is what was happening. People were going on Amazon, finding things to sell, coming back to eBay, posting that listing or that item that's selling off of Amazon on the eBay for a higher profit. So what happens is, if somebody's shopping around on eBay, there's a vast majority of people that do all of their shopping on eBay. They don't go anywhere else. They automatically assume that if it's on eBay, they're getting it for the best price. So you get to capitalize on people's laziness, pretty much. So you take that product from Amazon, you put it on eBay, and you mark it up a little bit, or a lot, depending on what the product is, and then you sell it. So once somebody purchases it from eBay, purchases your listing on eBay, you go around to wherever you found that product, wherever it was, Walmart.com, Kmart.com. You go over there, you purchase it off of that site, and then you put in the shipping details for the person that purchased it from you on eBay. And so you don't ever have to touch the product. If somebody wants to return the item, all you do is get a return shipping label from said company that you purchased it from and ship it to them. They ship it back, and boom. No harm, no foul. You refund the money, everything's good to go. Now, your next question is, what if they see a receipt or something that says that you know, they purchased it from this place for a cheaper price? And it's like, yes, the odds are they will see it, but they won't say nothing about it typically. And how I can prove that is, if we go in here to my eBay account, right? And let's see here. Alright, so as you can see, I haven't done anything in this year so far. But if you, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Total sales I've done on eBay is $12,033. And if we look up here, you see this is my listing here. This is my rating. Everything I've sold on eBay was from Walmart.com, Kmart.com, Amazon.com. It was sold through drop shipping. I have not had one negative response on my account. Does this mean that it doesn't happen? Of course. There's always that possibility that that person might get uppity because they do happen to see the invoice and they notice, hey, wait a minute, why is the prices different? In said such case, all you have to do is refund them the profit that you made off the item. Explain to them, hey, this is how you could come up with something like, I ran out of inventory and I wanted to make sure that you got the product. So what I did was I found it somewhere else and I produced the product for you, and typically that'll get away with it. If they do press you more and more about it, you know what, just give them the profit that you made off of it, write it off. It'll save you a good rating. Like I said, I've never experienced that, but I've got several friends that are doing massive amount of product sales on eBay, and this is some of the things that we have talked about as we were masterminding together about how to make this work. So with that being said, what I wanted to do, I want to kind of go through the process of how I create an eBay listing. I find items to sell that are good for profit. Alright, so what we do is, alright, we're on eBay here. So what we want to look here, let's say, let's look up a hammer set. Just because, tools are good selling all year round. All these independent contractors and stuff, they always have to have their own tools. So tools are a great way to have an item that consistently sells over and over and over again. So we're just going to do a search for hammer. Alright. So now you see all these hammers that are listed here. Now what I want to do is I want to come down here and I want to look only for completed listings. Now what this is going to do is this is going to show me a listing of all the items that have sold under that under that keyword recently. So we click on completed listings. So now, you know what, let's actually narrow this down a little bit. Let's go to, let's just click a category for this. So we'll go home and garden. So home improvement, and then we'll look up. All right, home and garden. We'll look up tools. Here we go. Hand tools, hammers and mallets. Narrow that search term down. All right. So now we go through here, and you'll see all these items that have sold. This item sold for $29.60. This sold for $46.88. You know, as you can see, there's a lot of items that have sold, especially today? Yeah, no, yesterday. You know, look at all these hammer keyword items that sold just yesterday, September 15th, 15th, 15th. Look, it's like 3 minutes apart from each other. Now, what I'm going to show you here is, you see this image here? 9 times out of 10, if you see an image that has a complete white background and just the item itself is cut out and displayed over that white background, this item came from another site. So let's see here. Okay, we'll choose this item here. This Wilton 2-pound bash cross peen hammer. So now let's go over to Amazon, just because that looks kind of like an Amazon image. So we paste this in here, right? And we do search. Hey, look, it's the exact same image. And what's funny about it is, you can buy it through Amazon for $51.99 and have Amazon ship the product. But right here, you have the same exact product for $38.99 plus $10.90. So that rounds out to about $49.99. So it's a couple dollars cheaper here. But I would always recommend, if you have a chance, if you have the ability for Amazon to handle the shipping, basically this is what somebody has purchased up a lot of a particular item and shipped it into Amazon to do their FBA selling. You're going to get, you won't have to deal with returning, you won't have to deal with much anything. They handle everything for you, and typically their shipping goes out right away as soon as it's sold. So, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you can buy it and it's sold through Amazon and shipped by Amazon, ships and sold by Amazon here, it's going to be your better deal, because there's going to be less headache down the road when you're dealing with it. All right, so let's see. Was that? No, wait a minute. That wasn't the right one. This is a 16-inch hammer. So this is a 3-pound head. This one was a 2-pound bash. So wait, let's see. Why did it show a different one? Okay, well, regardless. You kind of want to stick away from people who have bad reviews, though. Okay, well, you know, somebody should have understood what they were purchasing. So that review don't really think that applies. It's not. I don't really consider that a bad review. She just didn't know, you know, the weight of the object that she was going to be using in her shop class or whatever. So you could probably disregard that customer review. But still, this item was selling for $49.99. That includes your shipping, right? So if we look over here, you had one that sold for $54.97. See, were there any more? So this probably racked this person up a couple bucks worth of profit. You know, maybe this was kind of a bad example to run off of, because typically I won't sell anything unless I'm looking at least $5 to $10 profit. Just because, you know, you gotta understand that there's taxes that come involved and stuff like that. So it really, you really have to research what you're doing when you're trying to sell something. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how items are being sold from Amazon onto eBay all day long. So like, let's look at this East Wing rock grip. So we take this, we copy it, we go here, paste that in, do a search. Okay. So that one's not sold on Amazon. So what we do here, we go to Google and we type in that listing. And Google's going to list pretty much all of this particular product item. We go to shopping, and then you can see so this insane pricing here, somebody is drop shipping on Amazon. But if you look at that, there's only one left in stock, and they've sold it for $159. That's pretty good. East Wing solid steel, is that the same one there? 14 ounce. Oh, that's a 22 ounce. It's a welding. Oh, actually, I was looking at the wrong one. So this is the actual one I pulled up. So let me... So here, this is the 30 ounce one. We're looking for a... Let's see here. So this is a 22 ounce one. So we're going to do East Wing 22 ounce. Rock pick. There we go. Oh, see, somebody's selling on that one on Bonanza. Here we go. 22 ounce deluxe rock pick. This one sold for $45.99 from Hayneedle plus $5.99 shipping. So this one's getting it obviously cheaper. So it takes a little more work to try to find the proper one. So odds are that one's probably sold out. Well, this might be it right here, actually, because this is a 22 ounce head. But this is a 30 ounce. It's probably measuring the overall weight of that. But it's selling for $30.78 plus $13. So it's $43 roughly. You could get it from Home Depot for $35.03. You can even find it on eBay, but I don't recommend buying off eBay and selling on eBay. You get some issues when it comes into putting in your actual once the product ships out and you're doing the actual you have to put in like when the person purchases, you have to put in the shipping confirmation number. But look, Walmart's selling it for $35. Now they do free shipping of up to $50. So depending on how much the shipping is for this item, which I would imagine since it's coming from Walmart, you're probably looking at about maybe $5, so that's $40. And so this person's making roughly about $5 profit from that. Now, like I said, there are some fees that come into it. You know, PayPal will charge you fees for using PayPal to purchase. eBay charges fees for putting up the listing. So, you know, these are things to consider before you put up a listing. Roughly what I do whenever I go to find something to sell, I'll take whatever price it shows. Let's see. Let's just do hammer. So this is $9.89. So what I do, is I'll take that $9.89 and I'll multiply it by 18%. So that includes, you know, your 10% eBay fee. That includes your 2.5% PayPal fee, and then your sales tax. You know, sales tax varies between, you know, what state it's being sold, what state it's being shipped to. That's a key thing to remember. It could be anywhere from 4% to 8%. But it depends on where the purchase was made from. So you'll be charged if you go to buy it on Amazon and say the sales tax is 8% in New York, and the person purchased it from New York. So when you purchase the item and you ship it to the person in New York, you have to pay whatever New York's sales tax is. So I always, as a safety net, because the states vary. You could go for a full 20%, but I always do about 18%. So you're looking at $1.78 in fees on top of that $9.89. So if we add that, I would have to sell this item for at least $12 before I start seeing profit. Well, I mean, I'll see about a quarter profit if I sold it for $12. So there's a little bit of mathematics that comes into play there, but overall, I mean, this is a very simple process. You go on eBay, you check out what's already selling, as I showed you through my example. And then you see if you can source that item. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to find that item at a cheap enough price to where you can undercut said person by a quarter, by 50 cents, by $1. You know, I've seen stuff on here. I've sold stuff on here. Just to give you an example, I didn't do it this year, but last year around springtime, right when taxes were coming due, like tax season, you know, when rebates were being given out, rebates, you know, when you get your tax money back at the, in April or after April or whatever, I usually put up, there's a rock water fountain that sells out of Kmart.com. That thing was selling for $245, right? And I sold that sucker for $400 plus. And I was playing around with the price. The first time I sold it for $375, and I just kept, every time it sold, I would increase the price just so you can see, you know, what it's hitting at. And I ended up selling, I think, 7 of them last year, which rounded out to about almost $1,000 in profit. I never touched the item. The only thing I had to do was create the listing on eBay and turn around, and I would set up a shipping time because it did come on freight. So there was, you know, you had to make sure somebody was there whenever they dropped it off. But I mean, I was the middleman between those calls. So when the guy made the purchase, I messaged him. I was like, look, we need to arrange a meeting time. And then whatever. And when I was on Kmart and I was going to buy it that day, I looked to see what available times they had for shipping. And I lined it all up with the customer. I was like, okay, well, I can do it on this date. When are you available? They tell me, and I set that up. That's all I had to do. And then once the item purchased, I didn't have to do any more of that work other than hit a little button that showed up on my mobile app, and it said relist. And I hit that button, and guess what? It does all of the work to recreate the listing like that. So literally, I did the work once, which took me about 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, and I made almost $1,000 in. If you want to combine all the time I spent actually selling it, i.e., setting up the arrangements for when it was going to be shipped off, I probably did about 2 hours worth of work in total for $1,000 worth of profit. I can't stress to you how easy this whole process is. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, this is golden for you, because you get to be there with your kids. You don't have to worry about, leaving the house to go help make income. You can sit at your laptop and do 15 minutes worth of research and have a product put up and make money off of it. I mean, the process is so simple. And then you're like, well, if it was so simple, why aren't you making more money out of it? This is just a revenue for me. I build up. So I use this to purchase my kids Christmas presents. So the profits that I make off of this throughout from this time right around the fall season, selling Halloween products and Christmas toys and stuff, I take all that money and I turn around and buy my kids their Christmas present. So I do other stuff. I'm more focused on. I'm a programmer. I have my other job that I do. So this isn't like going to be replacing my full-time income. This is just extra money so that around holiday seasons, I do a few hours worth of work and boom, I have my kids' Christmas presents, right? So this isn't, this is easy. This is mad easy. But this isn't something I love. I love programming. I love creating, designing web designs. That's where my passion is. But like I said, I do this extra around Christmas time or around holiday seasons because it gives me extra money I can use all that money just to get my kids whatever they want for Christmas. So it works out well for me. But some of you don't have any income coming in. And this is a process that is so easy that anybody can do this. I can't stress that enough to you. This is such an easy process. All right. You don't have to be a mathematical whiz. You don't have to have a degree in anything. All you have to do is be able to spend a few minutes of time in front of the computer doing some research, trying to see, what products are selling, who's selling it for the cheapest price, and whether or not you can make a profit off of it. And, a lot of people get wrapped up in the idea, well, I say I won't sell something unless I can make between $5 to $10 at least on the item. And people are like, oh, well, that's only $5 profit. Yes, but you don't understand. You do that work once, and you get paid continuously once that product sells. Ooh, yay me! I was selected to get a free cruise to the Bahamas. Yeah, right. Gotta love telemarketers. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that there, but you get the process. This is so easy to take advantage of, especially right now. I mean, when I first got into this, which was back in 2013, that's the first time I ever sold anything. I'm gonna explain to you the process, all right, or how I made my first sale. So, what happened was I found out that it's coming fall time. So what does that mean? Heaters. Heaters are going to start selling really well right now because it's starting to get colder, correct? So the little floor heaters that sit on the ground, that families usually buy to help heat their home because it's so cold, and it's cheaper to use those little floor heaters than it is to run your heater all the time. Especially if it's a small couple home, and they don't have a need to have heat in every single room just where they're at. It's a great device for them to be using. So come around Halloween. Halloween is when I made my first sale. I did the listing about 2 weeks prior to Halloween, just because I was brand new to it, and it took me so long to try to figure out how to get this process working. So I found a heater that was selling on Amazon, and I was so excited because I was going to make a $25 profit, right? So I got all excited, and I put up the listing, and then I let it sit there because I didn't understand about keyword title, fixing your titles and stuff like that, making sure that keyword research and pretty much SEO for eBay. I didn't understand that whole process, so it took a little longer than normal to get that item to sell. But I sold it on October. Me and my wife, we were out with the kids, and we were doing trick or treating. And I'm sitting there on my phone, and I hear that little cha-ching sound on my phone. I was like, "Wow, it works!" That's the first thing that came to my mind was, "This works." So I got all excited, and we got through doing the trick or treating, piled everybody up in the van, got to the home, and I was excited. And I went up there, and I went to go make the purchase for the item, and I sold the item for the exact same price that I was buying it from. I didn't account for the actual sales. I didn't make, I wasn't going to make any profit on this item. And I got so disheartened. I was like, man, this sucks. My very first sale, and I'm already in the loss. And I didn't want to refund the product because, it was my first sale. When you're building your eBay account, your reputation is gold. And I didn't want my first sale to be a failure. So I was about to bite the bullet, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna lose money on this, whatever. Which would have only been about $10. I would have lost $10, but I would have had a successful sale in my account, and I ended up getting a good review on it because it was a great item, right? So it would have worked out anyways. I spent $10, but I had my first successful sale, and I got a good rating from that first sale. But as I was going through the sales process, Amazon offered $50 gift certificate if you signed up for their credit card. So I was like, this is golden, They're going to give me $50, which the product costs $49.99. So I got a $50 gift certificate for signing up for the eBay credit card. And so practically I ended up making $50 on the item because I got it for free and it shipped for free. So I didn't have to pay anything, all for signing up just for the Amazon credit card. So from that point forward, every time I made a purchase, I used the Amazon credit card to make the purchase. And then I would just, once eBay released the funds into my account, then I turned around and took that money and paid off my credit card and got to keep whatever was left over. So not only am I building my credit, but I'm also making money off of it. So it was a win-win situation. Plus, you get a percentage back on the amount on cash back from making the purchases. So it was awesome. So at the time, I was working a 40-hour-a-week job, and plus I was trying to spend time with the kids, and I just didn't have a whole lot of time to put into this what it deserves. And I'm just to give you a reference, the guy that showed me the process of what I just showed you right here, he made $147,000 in profit between, because he started 2 weeks prior to me, so that was about September, about mid-September, all the way up until January 1st, right after the Christmas season. He made 106. What did I say? 100. It was 100. I don't know. It was over $100,000 in profit just from doing this. So I'm telling you, it's a wonderful opportunity, and you don't have to do anything. There's no startup cost. You know what I mean? Just spend some time to do it. Now, there are a few things, if you don't have if you don't have an active seller account, what happens is eBay puts you in a 90-day limbo, which basically means when you put up a product for sale, and once the item is sold, once the person purchases the product, PayPal will hold those funds until the item is shipped out and the person receives the product. And then once they receive the product, then PayPal releases the fees. So this is why I suggest everyone who I brought into this little money making thing, everyone who I brought in, I suggest get the Amazon credit card. Because like I said, for the first 90 days, you have to have so many sales, and you have to have so much sales, as in, the amount of product sales that you've done, and you have to have good ratings. You can't have any bad, can't have a list of bad ratings for that. And I think you're limited to like 10 items, and up to $200. I think you have to have sold at least 10 items and that had to amount over $200, and no bad remarks on your account. So because I was using the credit card, I was able to front the money for whatever product I was selling, and then once the money was released into my PayPal account after the product got there, I turned around and took that money and paid off the credit card. So I was building my credit, plus I was making profit, plus I was getting cash back for using the Amazon credit card. I mean, it's a win-win situation all the way around. So, that's the biggest drawback to getting started with eBay, is you do have to front that money up that first 90 days. You have to prove yourself. They're not going to just let anybody come in here and just start throwing hundreds of $1,000s worth of products on their site expecting something to sell. They have a business to run. That's their rules. That's the only hidden step that a lot of people don't talk about. But it's not that hard. You could find stuff in your home to make those 10 sales in that first 90 days and that are over the price that you need. See, it's not like you really have to go out and buy stuff and do the drop shipping method your first 90 days. Your first 90 days is just meeting those requirements, just so that they unlock your account, so that whenever somebody does make a purchase, that money goes directly into your PayPal account, and you turn around and take that money and purchase that product. That's all you're working toward, is that for that first 90 days. But once you're out of that 90 days probation period, the sky is the limit. I mean, they do set restrictions. You'll have to prove yourself each new. Like I've gotten up to, I can sell up to $7,500 worth of products a month. But once you get, if you're actively just destroying it, if you're actively selling, all the way up, once you get to that ceiling that they put you at, you call them up and it's like, hey, can you lift the ceiling? Can I get my restrictions lifted? And before long, I know people who have like a $500,000-$600,000 limit on how much they can sell per month. I mean, it's insane how easy it is to make money with this. So, I just wanted to share this with you because we're getting around the holiday seasons, and a lot of people are struggling just to make ends meet. This is a perfect ability for you to be able to add some extra income to your lives, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, or even if you're a stay-at-home dad. There's no shame in that. So don't, we all want to provide the most we can for our children, for our families, for our significant others. And, I want to share this with you because this is a very easy way to gain a considerable income if you choose to stick around with this route. And I mean, like I said, I only do it around the holiday seasons just so I can, purchase all the stuff I need for my kids' Christmas. You might be the person who wants to do this every single day. This might be what you love. So, if it is, I'm so glad I was able to show you this method. And it's not nothing new. Drop shipping has been around for decades. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, Amazon and eBay, they got so big because people were selling products off of one each other. And, that's why they're the largest e-commerce hubs on the internet. outside of, purchasing stuff from China. Which, if you stick around through all my videos, I'll be explaining, if you really want to go to that next step, i.e. branding your own item, sourcing it out of China, and then selling it on Amazon. That's where you really start raking in some money. And that process is extremely easy. You find a good product you want to sell that China is already manufacturing. You put your sticker, your label on it. You have it shipped in from China. It goes straight into Amazon's deployment centers. And boom, Amazon takes care of everything for you. They do all the shipping. All you have to do is say, I want this product. I'm selling this product, and this is what I want to sell it for. Sell it for me. And they take care of the rest. There's some high fees that go in along with that, but you know what? If you're getting, say you're selling a spatula set, right? And it's costing you like $3 to make, but you're selling it for $9. The fees are not going to matter because you're going to make so much off of just selling the item that you're going to be, you could easily become a millionaire using this whole process here. And there's increments to get there, okay? Now, it just depends on how much effort you want to put into it, honestly. So I appreciate you sticking around. I know this was a long video, but I kind of wanted to, get it out there, especially because we're around Christmas time. It's just definitely a good way to be able to help fund your Christmas purchases for your kids, your families. Hell, even if you just want some extra income, gas money. Maybe you don't have a job, but you've got access to the internet with a laptop or something. This is an insanely profitable venture if you put the time into doing it. And really, you're only looking at about 30, 45 minutes worth of research time. It takes you 10 minutes to put up a listing, and boom, you're going to get paid on that. As long as that item is still available to be purchased from whatever site you sourced it from, you're going to make money on it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. Please give me a like, say, hey, I want to know if this is helping you, because I don't want to waste my time, but I do want to be showing you all kinds of business ventures that you can get into with little to no startup funds, and get going and rock and rolling. Be your own boss. That's what matters. Be your own boss. Quit working for somebody else. Quit trading your time away for peanuts. It's not worth it. Everybody's so scared to leave the establishment. You might have a nice little goose egg. You might be getting, sorry to continue on with this video, but, I was making $24 an hour as a forklift driver for Costco. I worked there for 8 years. Had 401k package, insurance. It was great. I hated my job. I hated going in working for somebody else. I hated being told when I could go to lunch. I hated being told when I could go to the bathroom. So I said, you know what? I'm done with this. And at the end of June, I quit my job. I've been working from home ever since. It's possible. You just have to remove that shadow of doubt that makes you think that you can't do this. It's so easy to make money on, especially with the internet. There's spider webs worth of ventures that you could do on the internet to make money. It's insane. Everybody is moving to the internet. That's why you see all your stores, they're closing down. Little strip malls, they're losing their big retailers there because people are buying online now. E-commerce is exploding. So take advantage of that. Step in front of that. A lot of people do MLMs, a lot of people do business opportunities, but do you really want to put, if you don't have the personality, if you don't have the following, you're I hate to say it, but you're not going to make money online using an MLM. It's just not going to happen. You can't throw money at a brick wall and expect it to produce a money tree. It just doesn't happen. So, sorry, but if you're failing at your MLM opportunity, using this process here, you are selling things that people want to see. They're online purchasing that product. Why not make money off of it? All right, so once again, it's a long video. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to knock this out and show you guys one of the other ventures that I do that makes money. All right, so I love you guys. I appreciate you for, subscribing. If you liked this video, if you found it informational, please hit up that like button and share it off with your friends, because you never know. You might have somebody on your list that is struggling to try to make ends meet, that this could give them an extra $50 a day, an extra $100 a week. This could help them out tremendously. So don't, if you liked it, please share it out to your list, because I want to be able to help people, because that's my goal. If I help enough people get what they want, I'm going to be taken care of. All right, so I love you. Thanks again for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.